Hello and welcome to T3, the Week in Tech. I am Emily, and Sam is away this week. He is in Watches and Wonders in Geneva, aka Sam's heaven.
Yeah.
So
he's having a great time. We know he is.
Yeah, and we're not begrudging him that at all, because that means I get to have lovely Lizzie on the podcast.
I am home staff writer on the site, and I cover everything from coffee machines to smart home tech to hair strainers. So there you go.
And she's brilliant at it. She is my go-to source for any time I need to update my smart home, because she knows all the things. So first, we're going to kind of go lightning speed through the news of the week, and then we'll get into some home stuff.
Fantastic.
Nothing apparently is releasing yet another phone. And to be fair, we do think it might be the CMF phone.
We love Nothing at T3. Like, it's one of our probably...
Oh, yeah.
Favorite brands for sure.
It's brilliant. Nothing hasn't released the Nothing Phone 3 yet, which is interesting because obviously I had a lot of things to say. I think a lot of people have a lot of things to say when the 3A and 3A Pro came out. Because those are technically, despite the Pro moniker, it's a mid-range phone. It's not intended to be the flagship phone. CMF by Nothing now is a subset that is their overall cheaper, more budget-friendly brands. They are still brilliant, though. And I say that because, like, we still cover them because they're still great, actually.
Absolutely.
They still run on Nothing OS. I think their watches are also supposedly amazing. They do have their own charm to them. So recently, Nothing CMF has started teasing new Pokemon images, which suggests there is a launch for CMF because historically that's what they've done in the past to launch their new products. Is use Pokemon images, which I actually wasn't that aware of. I'll be completely honest with you. I mean, CMF phones are not something I particularly follow, like I hunt down, but I didn't know that they used Pokemon images which seems a bit like it might cheapen their brand a little bit.
Every launch, they use a Pokemon image.
I don't know the history of it, but like,
interesting.
They have, apparently, according to Chris Hall, who wrote this article for us, they've established a pattern of teasing new devices using Pokemon characters. So the Nothing Phone... Nothing also does it. I don't remember the Nothing Phone 3A being teased with Arcanine.
I wonder what's the reason, because there must be.
Well, I think they do...
Is it like a familiar logo they use, like the Pokemon branding? Or with other features? Or
I think, well, because they've always done like different bugs, I suppose. Yeah. They had like the dung beetle that was like the symbol.
I remember that one. Yeah, and there's been a ladybird at some point.
Yeah, probably.
I probably just made that up.
I just had to think what ladybird was for a moment.
Oh yeah, it's a ladybug, isn't it?
It's a ladybug in the US.
Ladybug.
But anyways,
ladybird.
Ladybird. Also, though, that's not even it. They think it's the CMF Phone 2, a new neckband earphones, which I'm not entirely sure who. I don't know. I have nothing on it. Wireless earbuds and a smartwatch. So they're going to release the entire kit and boodle, I suppose. I wish they would just release the Nothing Phone 3. I mean, I wish they had released it before the 3A and the 3A Pro because I feel like that's just not. I don't know. Yeah, I like their devices. I think their product ranges could be a little bit more concise, like, round it up a little bit. Speaking of phones, we now have iOS 19 on the horizon.
Yeah, apparently. It's coming. I am excited about this one, actually. I am an avid iPhone user, and whenever there's a new iOS, I'm all over that.
Yeah. I think, because it's supposed to be a rather big design change.
I've heard that, yeah.
Yeah, Sam spoke about it the other day, actually, over on our TikTok. And it does sound like they're moving more towards glassmorphism, which I kind of thought was done and dusted, to be completely honest with you. But I'm no designer. I'm not really that up with the times. So I don't know. It looks good regardless, though. So that is fun. I like to see Apple leading the... Well... historically, when Apple has released something new, a new design, or something that's kind of out there for me, I've initially not liked it and then gone, no, actually, I can see what they were doing there.
Get around to it, yeah.
Yeah, and in that way, I think they are like a tastemaker, or they have been in the past a tastemaker. Recently, yeah. But I'm really hoping this iOS 19 does bring a little bit of that back. You know, we haven't seen a major one like this for a while now, so that should be exciting. But the unfortunate news is, obviously, some devices will not update to iOS 19. You will not get all of the
typical
you will get
Apple, isn't it? When they leave a few in the dust behind.
To be fair, though, they're dropping the support for iPhone XR, XS, and the XS Max. I know people hate it when I say X. It's 10, I know, but the 10R, the 10S, and the 10S Max, which I
guess now with the recent iPhones obviously coming out, we're on
17 stage, so like it has been several years. And that is not to say devices will no longer be updated. They're still going to update them with security patches, all of that jazz. You're just not getting the newest features. And that might literally be because like your phone can't run it, because the generational upgrades are so massive nowadays. And, you know, you do require a lot more power to run some things today than you did back then. But I had the iPhone 10 at a time. And
I did too.
I did the 10S. Yeah.
I should have the 10. Do we know when it's coming? iOS 19?
iOS 19 is, so it'll happen at the WWDC conference in June.
Yeah.
So that's when they release usually all of their new software. I don't think they will release it. Maybe a beta will be available soon after, but you probably won't get.
We'll just hear more about it.
Yeah, we'll get more of an idea of what's coming with it.
Exciting.
Yeah, no, that is exciting. But yeah, so that's what we have to look forward to. Now, Lizzie.
Hello.
Well, this is something I really don't know much about, but I'd kind of like to talk about robot lawnmowers.
Oh, you got me there.
Yeah.
I love a robot lawnmower.
You haven't got a lawn to mow, if I remember correctly.
I don't, but my mother is very, very generous and has a rather big garden.
Does she have an army of robot lawnmowers?
She currently has 2. One is set up and currently being used, which she's very impressed with. And the other one will be ready to go soon after this one. But she has got a medium-sized lawn that is just perfect for having a robot mower. So I'm often driving home in order to be able to test them out. Because, living in the middle of a city in a flat with a patio is not exactly the right environment to test robot lawnmowers.
Yeah.
But
I've got rocks only. A patio
it won't
and
work.
rocks.
Robot, they're sort of a new thing that has come around, I think, especially in the last sort of 1 to 2 years. We obviously have had them since, I think the first one came out in about 2016, 2017.
I was going to say, I thought I'd seen them around for a while, but they've been getting hyped.
They've been really getting a lot of hype. A lot of brands have been picking up on them, and those are mostly gardening brands. We've sort of seen robot lawnmowers from robotic brands across the years, but a lot of gardening brands are now manufacturing them, which is a big change, which is why they're becoming a lot more widely available to consumers and for more affordable pricing as well, which is always a big thing. When they become a bit more affordable, they sort of, get out to a lot more people. So they've really taken off.
100%. I mean, I still haven't gotten on the I need a robot floor vacuum. That's what I want.
Yes.
I want the small SwitchBot one, but I ain't got the money for that.
We love the mini. We love the mini.
Yeah. But anyways, so because that's like I think the only thing that would make sense in my house because I've not got very much. Anyways, the thing that is an issue for me is my ground floor has a step up in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So there's, our kitchen area, and then it turns into our living area by putting a step up. And obviously that's a little prohibitive to a robot
But
vacuum.
have you seen the new robots?
They can climb stairs now.
They can climb stairs. Albeit
that's kind of terrifying to me.
Very slowly. Like I would say robot vacuums, the ones that can now climb stairs, the new Roborock one especially, They are very slow, and it's almost still, oh, it's amazing. You know, they have arms and legs now, they can go upstairs, but I think it's still very much in the beginning stages of that.
I mean, I don't mind how slowly it does it as long as it does it for me, and I don't have to like.
I think the ones at the
moment,
are only able to climb about 6 to 8 centimeters. So if you have a big step, that's not going to work yet. But I'd say give it a few years. You know, we have no idea what.
I'd say like this big.
So maybe like more of a ledge. It wouldn't be able to climb like stairs upstairs and everything. So.
No, it's more of a ledge. Yeah. It's not a yeah. So I'll be a perfect tester if you do that. But anyways, yeah, that's kind of terrifying. I have to say the fact that they can climb stairs. It reminds me a bit of. Did you ever watch Doctor Who?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to like. I don't want to give away too much by saying which series were my favourites, but I'd say past Matt Smith, not so much.
Okay.
David Tennant was my time. And
She's
even my favourites were like Billy Piper. David Tennant, Billy Piper. Those were
that was iconic. And that's the series that I'm talking about. Do you remember when the Dalek like first appears and they run upstairs and then they look behind them and think, oh, that thing can't come up, and then it goes
yeah.
And then it starts to like slowly levitate up.
Accepts the challenge.
Yeah. That's kind of how I feel about the robot vacuums climbing stairs.
100%.
Like,
I was saying, and I wrote about this in my article that we'll probably talk about in just a second, but I was away yesterday in France to see the new Segway X3 series robot lawnmowers. There's 4 in the range, and we were all staying in this sort of hotel in the middle of nowhere in rural France, and patrolling the grounds of this hotel were robot lawnmowers. And I remember looking out of the window at one point thinking,
were they
are they gonna,
Segway
yeah,
ones, right?
they were all the Segway
Okay,
ones.
good.
They were like getting ready for their product demos and everything. But I remember looking at them thinking, oh my goodness, is this like something out of Black Mirror? Like, are the robot lawnmowers about to take over and come in to the hotel and eat us?
I did see them in Edinburgh once, like on the grounds.
Oh, did you? Yeah, we're seeing a lot more. I think that's something that the new Segway range will actually be really good for, because these mowers are built for big lawns, football pitches, you know, everything like that. So I think we'll be seeing them in a lot more in commercial settings as soon. I know that you do see them in parks and
there were a couple though that were doing the same lawn. So I suppose you do need like how much can it do in a certain amount of time? Is there like a you say like one can do a football pitch?
Yeah. So
How
this
long
is
does
what
that
the
take?
new
Do you know?
Segway range. So they say that I think it's their top model in the range can do 10,000 square meters in under 24 hours or something like that.
Okay.
I think that's it. So obviously, not like a lot, but if you think
And it's
about
working
it,
overnight.
that's huge. That's a massive space, and a lot of them are built for the more smaller to medium size lawns. So it's impressive. But
cool.
I love them. It's one of those areas that I'm really looking forward to see how they develop. See which brands sort of take them on, because we have big ones from the likes of Husqvarna, Steel,
which I didn't know was a brand, but apparently it's a very nice brand.
Yes, we like Husqvarna. Brilliant, really good. So it's almost like a watch this space kind of thing, I think, with robot mowers.
Right now, do you have a favourite at the moment? Like money, not a question.
Not at the moment.
Okay.
I think the ones I have tested recently are rather similar in terms of what they can do.
Right.
I'd say if I had to choose, literally gun to the head, I tested the Still iMow 5 recently, which is a good one. It's more for still a pretty penny, but it's...
How much is it?
I would say it's 2.5, 3
Okay.
grand. So, but then the Segway, the one in the new Segway range, top model for that is just under 5. So they are expensive.
Right.
You can get good ones for under £1,000. There's one from Lawn Master, which is actually about £200, which is our favourite budget one at T3. Oh. But again, you're not getting much. You're not getting obstacle avoidance, or, well, a little bit, but not, in terms
just
of...
random things.
If I would not leave... I would not leave. It makes me laugh so much, because whenever a brand, like especially a robot mower brand, talks about their obstacle avoidance AI and technology and everything, they always use a hedgehog as an example. They're always like, this won't run over your hedgehog in the middle of the lawn. Or they'll get like a toy hedgehog and be like, look. It's like, what about everything else?
I think the hedgehog would probably move.
I know. Although maybe it is because they're a bit slow.
No, they're not. They're speedy hedgehogs.
They are. What's the slow one? What's the slow
Tortoises?
animal? Yeah.
I was going to say.
Not me getting hedgehogs and tortoises mixed up. It's the shape.
Yeah, they're both dome-like.
One big thing, though, that is really developing with robot lawnmowers is the move from wired areas. Because before, the first models that would come out, and only until maybe 3 years ago, all lawnmowers, robot lawnmowers, you had to square off the section you want to mow with using a wire.
Ew.
So you would dig it into your like flower beds, or you would even have it above ground and have it if you had fencing perhaps. But they caused so many problems. Wildlife would dig them up. They'd get broken all the time depending on where you were.
A thing that you
Yeah,
needed.
so now all these new exciting ones that are coming out, which are a lot of money, they're boundary free. So they use GPS satellites to map out like a robot vacuum cleaner.
Because in theory,
yeah,
I would have thought that would be like the same technology.
and they are so much easier. So I actually haven't personally reviewed a wired robot lawnmower before because I started reviewing them when they were moving away from that kind of technology, but they're so much better. So that is why now that we're seeing them with that technology, they're a lot more popular, and the brands sort of know what they're doing now. I think.
I'm afraid I'm just too lazy to do much installation.
I know.
Exactly. Like, I mean, I know it's, like a little bit of work for a lot of payoff, but I'm glad they don't do that anymore because that just seems ridiculous. 100%. I'm sorry. I want to be able to map it out like you can with on a screen,
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how it should be,
we don't really
That's
know.
what tech can do these days.
I wanted to ask you about this other Yarbo one that you were reading about. It's very bug-like, I must say. I'm looking at the image now.
I am astounded by this thing. I've only come across it recently. It came out in June last year.
Yeah.
So it's been around for a while. But it's the Yarbo multi-purpose robot. Now, this thing is crazy. It is technically a robot, like a little robot, just on its own. It's expensive. It's just under 10 grand or $10,000, something like that. It's really, really expensive. But what Yarbo have done is they have released these things called modules, which then turn the robot into specific specific kind of robot. For example, so Yarbo have come out with a trimmer module only the other week, actually. And then you attach them to the robot and then it becomes, so think of it like a sort of swap in, swap out, plug and play. It's really handy, especially if you really value, which I think a lot of people are now, is having a device, a robot that can do more than one thing. So we're seeing it a lot in like kitchen appliances, these like 5-in-1 microwaves and 10-in-1 air fryers and everything. People love it. So it's great to see. We've got there's a robotic trimmer module. There is a robotic leaf sweeper module. So literally will clear the leaves off your lawn, which is kind of crazy. What else? Oh, and then obviously the robot lawnmower that comes as a separate attachment that kind of clips on to the all-in-one robot and then will mow your lawn as well. So, but those all cost an extra price. So it is an expensive piece of kit. This is very, very premium. But if you've got the money and you want the convenience of having it all in one thing, I think it's a very, very cool piece of kit.
It's giving a bit Wallace and Gromit.
Definitely. I think they all are, aren't they, really?
Well, this one can do everything.
Yeah.
Like whip out its little like trimmers and stuff. That's crazy.
It's really cool.
That is where I'm like, I actually don't know how I would start to create something like that.
I know.
Not that I would, I don't know. That blows my mind.
Maybe we'll get one in for review one day. We'll see. But that would be very cool. I think my mum would have an absolute field day if that turned up on her front door.
Really?
She wouldn't know what hit her.
No. It rolls up by itself too. Yeah. It delivers itself, actually. That's one of the bonuses.
Exactly. Yeah.
Next thing I wanted to ask you about, there's some more smart garden tools.
That is.
And it has to do with Matter, which is, talk to me about Matter.
Matter is one of those things that not a lot of people actually know what it is, unless you are really into your smart home stuff. But
Right.
it basically means when you buy a smart home device, if it is Matter compatible or it has Matter certification, sometimes you hear, basically means that it can be paired up and integrated with most smart home ecosystems. So a lot of the time you will have if you have a smart home device that isn't Matter compatible, it might be made by a specific brand or something like that. That means it can only be used in the ecosystem that it has. So, for example, IKEA have some great smart home stuff, especially if you're on a budget. I really, really like the IKEA smart home gadgets. And it was only a few months ago that they announced that they were becoming Matter compatible.
Really?
Yeah. So now, before that though, if you were to buy an IKEA smart plug, or something, you can only control it through the IKEA Smart Home Hub and the IKEA Smart Home app on your phone. You wouldn't have been able to pair it up with your Amazon Alexa and control it through that, or your Apple HomePod or something like that. So, but now IKEA has announced, which is a pretty big move actually, because they're really affordable, and normally products that are Matter compatible have that sort of extra price tag on them because you have better use out of them. So yeah, it's I would always recommend looking out for, if you are going to build a smart home, look for a product that is Matter compatible, definitely.
Yeah. I have kind of known to look for it, just because I do find that like one of the big issues that I have with a lot of smart home stuff is that it can be, your ecosystem is so fragmented.
Yeah,
My
absolutely.
Yale smart lock, for example, it doesn't like to connect with my, and I don't yeah, it's not, I don't think Matter compatible, but it supposedly will sync with like because I use my HomeKit.
Yeah,
I use HomeKit a lot.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's the entire reason I like have a HomePod, is because I needed, a hub. And then I have my Philips Hue hub as well.
Yes.
But that integrates well.
Yeah.
Those two work together. And I have a SwitchBot hub as well.
Oh, you've got all of them.
Yeah.
A lot of people will just aim for one or two hubs, and then we'll look for products that are compatible.
That's
with
what
them,
I would
but
like to do.
Yeah.
But obviously, here I don't.
No.
We,
It's almost something you have to have in mind before you start making your purchases as well.
Yeah.
It's tricky, but then there's another level to it as well, because you can have something that is just Amazon Alexa compatible, but it's not Matter compatible. Like, I have a fan from Dreo, very, very good sort of air tech company, and that is just Alexa compatible, but it's not Matter compatible. So even if it's from a different brand, it can be paired up and I can control it through voice control via my Alexa. It's still not Matter compatible. So I wouldn't be able to sync it up to a Samsung Smart Things hub or something like that. So,
which is frustrating.
yeah, it's annoying. It's something you really have to do your research for before you start making purchases. Yeah.
That's something I always like to ask when we go to these shows like IFA and CES. A lot of these large companies, LG, Samsung, they'll have entire like homes set up at their booths, like so you can walk through and see what it would be like to own every single one of their products, some of which do not yet exist. And I always like to ask, will these be compatible with other things? Because obviously I'm not going to go out, the average person at least, is not going to go out and be like, oh, I'm going to buy a Samsung smart fridge, and because the smart fridge integrates with the oven, I'm also going to get a brand new oven when I already have a hub that
Of course, you want to know. You want it to be seamless in that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that it's a really big thing for me that companies work as hard as they do on their native product, on their native software, as they do to like make sure it integrates with others.
100%.
That's really important to me.
I would say it is something we're seeing a lot more of now. Like, it is quite rare for a product to be released that isn't a smart home product that isn't Matter compatible. Like, it's almost like the brands know they need that now to set apart from,
I thought Matter was going downhill at one point.
It has its peaks and troughs, I think, but at the moment it's definitely a big thing.
Okay.
And people are realising the importance of it. We're seeing a lot of brands adopting it.
That's good.
To even on their existing lineup of smart home products, you know, putting it on there as well. So yeah, it's definitely having a moment.
The next thing I'm kind of excited about. I love Philips Hue.
Yes,
obviously.
I am obsessed with Philips Hue.
Right.
Great brand.
I have acquired a whole like Philips Hue ecosystem. I've actually got more than one hub. It's kind of a problem.
You haven't reached the 50 product limit on one, have you? Or have you just
no,
got two?
No.
That would worry me.
No, I've just acquired a second hub, and I've been trying to give it to people because I'm like, I don't need this. I just sometimes, you know, you get the packs that it comes with it. I'm like, oh no.
The starter packs.
So yeah, it's hanging out somewhere. But I have like all of the lights set up, and it's amazing. I love it. Sam was making fun of me last week for like having like a whole setup, but
I will not hear any slander against Philips Hue. They are probably, it's actually one of those things. They are the first brand I covered on my first day at T3.
So you feel a bit attached.
They've just kind of stayed with me, but also not just because of that. They are fantastic, and
they're kind of the standard, I would say.
Their products are such high quality, and with smart lighting as well, in particular, there are 3 brands that stand out from all the others.
Can I take a guess?
You can go on.
Philips Hue, Govee.
Yeah.
Oh heck. Hold on.
You got this.
I do. I know. Oh heck.
We looked at some of their weird lamps.
I know we did. Oh heck. Oh, you're gonna have to give it to me.
Nanoleaf.
I know Nanoleaf.
Yeah, those are the 3 best ones, and there are a lot of brands out there trying. I give credit to them; they're doing good. You know, they're getting there. But those 3 brands really stand out in terms of quality and tech and features. Yeah. But the Philips Hue in particular, I would say, you know, when you start when you start building up your ecosystem, it is hard to sway, you know, to the others. And I'm like you, I started off with Philips Hue. It was actually the first smart home brand in general that I started building products up for. And yeah, they are just the best of the best.
Yeah. Well, I've only got them because we end up with a lot of them in our studio.
Yeah.
So I've gotten them all through.
Give them homes.
Yes, I've gotten them through all. Yeah, and I do obviously have to keep all the boxes because they might just, you know. I've got a very expensive tower light.
Oh,
right now. I know.
What one? The Signy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like,
don't have it back.
Yeah,
I'm the same. I've put smart bulbs in all my spotlights in the living room, and they are really cool. Really, really cool.
That's nice.
It's just the effects. Those are just and the fact that one thing I love about Philips Hue as well is they literally come out with about 1 to 2 updates a month. So they are always constantly working. Now, I'm a bit annoyed with them because we haven't seen any new products in a while. So this is why this next piece of news is very exciting.
Tell me about it, because I saw this and I was thrilled.
Yeah. So basically, popped up a few weeks ago. So there is a very, very good website called Hue Blog, and it is run, I believe, by someone called Fabian. And he somehow has some kind of insider. I don't know whether it's official and they use him as a trusted source to leak information, or he has an insider and he does it by himself.
Right.
But he is sort of the go-to for all kinds of Philips Hue updates and leaks. He's very, very reliable. Okay. And he posted on his website about a month ago now, that a Philips Hue video doorbell is coming our way, which is so exciting. So Philips Hue came out with their Secure range in August 2023, which is their first sort of insight into smart home security. So I
admittedly forgot about that.
Yeah,
I kind of forgot.
It came in the midst of IFA 2023 as well. So it was like it came in the middle of a load of other announcements at the same time. But so we saw the Secure floodlight. We saw that. We saw the
Right.
secure video cameras, so the outdoor security cameras as well. So yeah, they came out with like a nice amount of security. It was their first time into security smart home. But since then, we've had the Hue Twilight, which is the Philips Hue wake up light.
Right.
But since then, we haven't had any new launches at all.
Yeah.
So Fabian posted that he had no sort of images or anything like that, but he said that a video doorbell could very much be coming our way. He had the blueprint for it,
Right.
which is why the design of it had been leaked. So
Okay.
very exciting. He didn't know much about it. He said not to trust him completely because he wasn't sure if it was true, but it would make sense for Philips Hue to go down that direction.
Yeah, I guess there's only so much you can do with lights.
I
right?
know,
It does come
exactly.
to a point.
Exactly. And it makes sense, like with their introduction to smart home security, it makes sense to go down the route of a video doorbell.
Yeah.
But then another exciting update, which only came out 3 weeks ago, is that someone spotted the Philips Hue video doorbell in the app as a product that you could sync up. It was I know. I was like,
Was that an accident? Was that an accident?
Well, you never know these things, do you? You don't know if they're doing it to just get that leak out there and like get people's attention before it's actually launched.
That's a pretty big one.
But yeah, it appeared in the section where you can add a product to your ecosystem that you don't have a QR code for. So
right.
it if you just like, it searches for it basically, but when you click on it, it obviously can't find anything because no one has one yet. So yeah, very exciting. We had the design of it pop up a little bit. It looks, I would say it's very similar to the Amazon Blink video doorbell. It looks quite similar to that. It's quite rectangular, quite long, with a button underneath and then the camera, obviously. So yeah, it's exciting. We don't know too much, again, what it will do.
Right.
But this pretty much confirms that it's coming.
That's exciting. And it seems like that must be coming soon if they've already rolled out
I hope so.
an app update.
I hope so.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I have had a Ring doorbell for ages now because our home editor had one and she was trying to get rid of it. So I was like, I'll take it. So I've got it. And I have like I got the sticky thing that goes for like, they can go on a renter store.
Yes,
I can't drill it in because I'm a renter.
Yeah.
But I've got it. Doing so, and I haven't put it up yet. It's currently it's been sitting.
Ring doorbell.
It's I think it died too because for a while it was in my kitchen and it kept telling me when someone went in the kitchen because it was sitting in its box and it kept noticing me out of like the corner of its little eye. I know,
not quite the intended use.
And my phone would go, someone's at the door, and I'm like, no, you're just
that's horrible.
Darling.
That is scary. That's scary.
Well, I knew what it was at that point, but anyways, but I do need to put it up. I just haven't yet. I don't know.
I haven't used one since the cottage I used to live in. Not that I live in a flat now in the middle of Bath, but it was on a very quaint sort of historical road in the middle of Shaftesbury, which is quite well known for its scenery. And the amount of people I would get, because my door was only about 4 foot, so you would have to like climb into the front door basically.
That's precious.
And the amount of people, I had one then, and the amount of people that I just my thing was just going off all day saying someone's at your door, and it was tourists outside of my cottage taking pictures of my front door, and I it's fine, and I was just like, it's one of those things. It's when it happens, doesn't it, when you live in a nice house. But I was like, I'm not doing this again. I was like, no thanks. Really annoying.
I would not. If I saw someone's Ring doorbell, I probably would not be bold enough to take photos of their house.
No, that's so true, actually. They were brazen.
Yeah.
So it is exciting. And yeah, we think it might be one of those things with the video doorbell. This is obviously just a guess, but it might, if someone is detected at the front door, it could then possibly be synced up to an outdoor Philips Hue outdoor light, and then could be used as a sort of motion sensor / video doorbell.
Right.
We assume the videos you'll be able to see them in the app.
Yeah.
I doubt there'll be another app for it.
Hopefully not.
No.
I like it when it's all
all in the same one.
Yeah.
So
And even better when it can show up in your HomeKit.
True.
My Philips Hue lights are not perfect with HomeKit. I won't lie.
Oh, really?
They can be a little laggy. I think because it has more more hoops to jump through. But it's okay. One of my favorite things is when I'm like, hey Siri, can you please turn off all the lights in my house?
Yep.
And she goes, I can't find any lights in your house. And then the lights turn off anyways, and I'm like,
Oh, that's a weird one.
I know. I think I've done something wrong there, though. I think something's up with me because I am constantly like looking up and I've done something wrong. I think, but it's an interesting one.
At least it doesn't.
Yeah, it does eventually do it. It's just not.
As I would say, Alexa is very good with Philips
I don't
Hue.
want Alexa in my house though, so I don't like her. She's not welcome. She can be outside my house. That's why I have the Ring doorbell, but
Got you. Yeah.
not inside.
No, I'm an Alexa girl.
One last thing that I want to ask you.
Yes.
Oh God, I think you're about to say something about Alexa too, aren't you? Because I was gonna ask you,
Yeah.
what your favorite how should you start a smart home? If you're starting a smart home, what's your first move? I assume it's to buy something that can serve as your hub.
That's exactly it. Yeah. So you have to, if you haven't got anything, you're looking to start it up. First of all, you need to choose the platform that you want to go with. It's the easiest way to start. Yes, we've just spoken about Matter compatibility and making sure that your products can integrate with multiple systems. But if you are looking to start from scratch, you need to choose the platform that you want first.
Well, ideally, that's a voice assistant, right?
Yeah,
That's what most people would
So
think.
you choose the platform and then go with the hub associated with that platform. So if you want to go down the Amazon Alexa route, you'll choose an Echo Spot or the Echo Show. We've had a few new Echo Shows out recently. If you want to very much stay in the Apple ecosystem, like you're a fan of, having everything synced up and accessible through lots of different devices, go for the HomePod. I know you like the HomePod.
And the mini HomePod is only 99 quid,
not
I think.
bad at all.
No.
We've also got Google. That's another good one. The Google Nest is really good if you're like an avid Google user and you like having all your your Gmail and your calendar.
Is Google Nest still alive?
Yeah, it is.
Or is it Hive?
We have I think it's Hive. Google Nest Mini is very much still alive and kicking. And what's the other one? Samsung Smart Things.
Right.
It's another one. I would recommend. There's 5 top ones, and I would recommend going with one of those. To be honest. And yeah, you choose your smart speaker according to that. Again, then you can branch out with other smart home products. So you can get your Philips Hue lights because you know that they're going to be compatible with your smart home ecosystem and your speaker, and you can control them through that. But that's the place to start, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would also say that your Apple TV, I think, can also serve as a smart home hub.
Yeah.
I think that's when people overlook.
Yeah.
I certainly overlook it. Not that I have an Apple TV, but it's interesting. And I meant before, by the way, the HomePod Mini. I don't want to. The HomePod, like the big boy, that one's quite expensive.
Yeah.
I had one on loan at one point. Brilliant. Loved it. Unfortunately, it was obviously only a loan, but I really liked it.
Expensive.
It's just but I did buy myself a Mini after having that, and
Well, that's the same with the Amazon. I don't have one of the shows, the Echo Show,
right?
Because that's the one that has the screen on it, and you can have it as a visual smart speaker, and you can see your calendar on it, or you can look up recipes if it's in your kitchen or something like that. I just have the Echo Spot, which is the new one from last year. It acts more as an alarm clock. It has like the half screen and then speaker on the rest of it, and that's all I need. Like that's brilliant, and I love it. And I do use things a lot more through voice control. I don't need that visual aspect, but a lot of people will prefer to have that visual. So yeah,
I've got that calendar that you gave me, the
I
Skylight calendar.
Do you use that?
Yeah, it's yes, I do.
Good.
And last night actually, so I did not realize that. So my partner had set it up to go off at night. That's great. Automatically it goes off.
Yes, you can do sleep mode on
because
it, can't you?
Yes, and because it's so bright.
Yes.
I got out of the shower yesterday. Thought, oh God, my pajamas, they're in the dryer downstairs. And I looked down the stairs. Well, I looked down the stairs and I did think, oh, the calendar's on. It's lighting up the whole thing. I don't need to bring my phone. So I run downstairs with my little towel around and go in there, and I'm elbow deep in the dryer, and the light goes off.
Oh no!
It hit 9:30.
Oh,
My partner had said it's 9:30 to go off.
Oh no!
So I was like, I was like, this feels like the type of fabric that.
It is good, that one. Obviously, that has no like, you can control it, I think, through the app, can't you?
Yes.
But it has no like smart
And it's a bit of
matter compatibility, or you can't. I don't think you can. I don't think you can link it up with anything.
I don't think so. And it's also a bit finicky in that, like, I mean, okay, I love the overall look of it. It has like it has a matte kind of background. And
this is the skylight calendar,
skylight calendar.
if anyone's wondering. Yeah.
Yes. It looks great.
Yeah. It's very like
Yeah.
visually pleasing on a desk or something, isn't it? On the side.
Yes.
I loved the meal planning feature.
I think that's a premium feature now. I think you have to pay for it.
Oh, annoying.
I know.
I think they
'cause
must have
there's
given
so
me a few
much.
months premium just to review the features.
So nice. Because I wish I did have all of that. That would be great. But yeah, it just sits downstairs. And
Okay, I'm glad you're using it. I didn't have space for it, so
it's a shame. Well,
usually the way.
yeah. Yeah.
My housemate, if I come home with another coffee machine, oh my goodness, I'm in trouble.
Oh my gosh. No, our
I'm in
house is
trouble.
that way too. But anyways, thank you so much.
No, thank
for
you.
joining me.
Thank you. Hopefully I did Sam proud.
Yeah.
We'll
no,
see.
I've learned a lot, to be completely honest with you. So
We shall see.
yeah, well, thank you. All right. That has been your Weekend Tech, and see you guys next week.